'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out a loud goodbye.
This gonna be the type of night they make movies about.
The farther away, the hazier it all gets. But me, I never left. I remember all of it.
To the losers.
We made an oath.
Swear? If it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back to.
We didn't stop it.
Pennywise.
The clown.
We can't let it happen again.
Hello?
Kid! Hello. Please. For 27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. I've missed you.
We need to finish it. For good.
I've seen all of us die. It consumes us from the inside until we don't have a choice anymore.
You lied. And I died. You lied. And I died.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Mr. Devon, Mr. Devon's channel, Sweatbox. We back, we live, we active here on the channel. Yes, indeed. And this is your spoiler review for It Chapter 2. So I just saw It Chapter 2. And of course, if you didn't see It Chapter 1, why are you watching It Chapter 2? And if you haven't seen It Chapter 2, why are you watching a spoiler review? Spoiler review, spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. So It Chapter 2 is basically the story of the Losers Club 27 years after their first encounter with the monster It. They're all grown up now. The three main characters are James McAvoy, what's her name? The chick from, she's super cute. Jessica Chastain, and old boy who plays Richie from Saturday Night Live. I don't remember his name. He plays on the new HBO show. I'm terrible with names. I'm gonna put him on. I'll put him on the thing because I should have been more prepared and I'm not. So there you go. But this is a really good movie, man. It's not as good as the first one. Let me just get out this way and say that. But I enjoyed it. I like how they wrapped it up. I like how they did it. It's definitely not as scary as the first one, but it's still super creepy and it's still super scary. Now the movie starts off with a scene from the book that they do where the gay couple gets jumped in Darien. They throw the dude over the bridge and all that, and then he gets killed by Pennywise. That was a great scene. I love how after it was over, you see all the balloons and everything. I love how I'm just gonna again. I'm all over the place. You guys know how I do my reviews. I'm not going linear with this shit. I'm just talking about shit that I liked. I love the I like how they reincorporated the bully from the last one. I probably should get my, you know what, should I just get my phone and then just do, I'm going to go ahead and just read, because my phone's right over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and reach over here and grab that. And then we're going to go ahead and look up the cast and everything so we can do this right. And so I can present some sense of professionalism while I'm doing this review. But overall, like I said, I didn't like this movie as much as the first one, but it's still a very good movie. The director, went long. This movie is long. This movie's almost 3 hours long. I mean, you're trying to reach endgame territory with that. And I don't know if you guys should have did that, but it's a lot to tell. The book is like 1,100 pages, so I understand it. I get it. I'm not even upset about it. But anyway, Bill Hader is the guy I was thinking of who plays the grown-up Richie. Jessica Chastain plays grown-up Beverly. James McAvoy plays grown-up Bill. The other two characters, Jay Ryan, I don't know him from anything else. He plays grown-up Ben. And Isaiah Mustafa plays grown-up Mike, and James Ransom plays grown-up Eddie, who looks just like young Eddie. They did a great job casting that. And it was also really weird because they also cast the same actress to play his wife as they did to play his mother. So that's super creepy if you understand how his character was in the first one towards his mother. And of course, Bill Skarsgård comes back as Pennywise. Bill Hader takes this movie. He's the best thing in this movie. They all do a really good job, but Bill Hader does a great job. He's been doing some real work in his other, in the work he does on that HBO show that I'm not going to remember the name of, and I'm not going to look it up. But man, there was the scene when they were in the clubhouse, and he's in the shadows, and it's, "Hey, losers, time to float." And then they all just freak out, and then he comes out the closet. He's like, "Yo, you remember when he was like, you did the dance?" Oh, Bill Hader was great. He was great. This movie was really funny. A lot of people say they don't like how the comedy fit into the tone of the movie, but I thought it was great. I thought this movie was really funny, especially considering how dark it was. Because you got Pennywise out here murdering kids left and right. I mean, so in the first scene, in the first one, in the 2017 It, they had the scene of Richie, not Richie, of what's his name's little brother, the one who got pulled into the sewer when he got his arm ripped off. And I was like, oh man, you guys is ripping off kids' arms? Yeah. And this one, he bites this little girl's face and just eats her up under the bleachers. That was crazy. And then this little kid just gets completely murdered in the funhouse, just blood splattered everywhere. Those were the two best kills of the whole thing. I was like, wow, they really went there. That scene that you see in the trailer when Bev goes back to her old apartment, that whole scene, I'm so mad they gave it away in the trailer because that whole scene is really creepy. The lady who plays the old lady in that scene is really crazy, and the scenes with her walking around in the background, and then when she finally comes out and she's the giant tall thing, I wasn't ready for that. I was like, oh shit, that was crazy. The Paul Bunyan scene, I believe that was in the book too. I believe the whole Paul Bunyan scene coming alive, that was in the book. And I'm glad that they did that. That was good. The negatives, like I said, the biggest negatives, this movie could have been a little shorter. I understand why it wasn't, and I'm not really complaining, but I'm kind of complaining. You probably could have shaved 20 minutes off of this. I don't know where. I got to go back and think about that, but there's definitely about 20 minutes in this movie that you probably could have shaved off. But, what else? There's some things that they didn't really touch on. Oh, they kill Stanley. Stanley gets killed. He dies in the book too. But Stanley kills himself because he slits his wrist in the tub at the beginning of the movie. So he's the only member of the Losers Club that doesn't come back to Derry. And I love how they kind of give what's-his-name shit about not being able to write good endings, which is kind of a poke at Stephen King and his endings. So a lot of people don't like his endings. Overall, man, I thought this was a good wrap. I thought they did a good job wrapping up the It saga. Compared to the miniseries, I think they did a lot of stuff better. They didn't go with the giant spider at the end. It was like a giant It. It was like a giant clown version of It, but he had kind of like spider legs, but it was a lot better. The restaurant scene, when they're in the restaurant after the first reunion and everything starts happening crazy after they realize Stanley dies and the fortune cookies start to come alive. A lot of people complained about the CGI. I didn't really have a problem with it. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it was fine. I liked the scene. Overall, I don't think it took away from the scene. I thought the scene was dope. I thought it was hilarious when the waitress comes in and Mike's just smashing the chair on the table. She's like, "You guys all right?" He's like, "Can we get the check?" It was great. There's so many funny moments in this movie. Bill Hader really is funny. Grown-up Richie is funny too, man. when their bully, I don't remember his name, and I should have looked it up. I saw probably when the bully who they threw down the well. What was his name? This is really unprofessional. Henry Bowers. Thank you. When grown-up Henry Bowers gets out of the mental hospital and runs up on what's his name in the bathroom and stabs him in the face. When he stabs Eddie in the face, I thought that was hilarious. And then Eddie stabs. He's like, "Man, you gotta really let that mullet go, man." I thought that was hilarious. That was funny. He's sliding out. He's still insulting him about his hair. That was just funny. Overall, the end of it, I thought it was a little anticlimactic that they're able to. After all the thing about them doing the ceremony doesn't work, so then they just insult him until he turns into a baby, and then they crush his heart. A little anticlimactic, and I know that's kind of how it went in the book, and but I digress. Overall, it's a good movie, not as good as the first one. The cast is great. Bill Hader is the standout, but the entire adult cast is really good. They really do represent the younger versions of themselves fairly. Shouts out to James McAvoy for doing a good job of mastering the stutter, for still mastering the stutter that Bill had as a kid. I liked that. That was really good. Stephen King's cameo was great in it too when he goes to buy the bike. That was really good. So overall, I like it. I'm gonna give it a score. Not as good as the first one. I don't remember what I gave the first one. I think I gave the first one like an 8. So I'll have to give this one like a 7. Still a good movie. Definitely still a good movie. I definitely recommend going check it out. It Chapter 2, 7 out of 10. That's my final score. What do you think? Let me know what you thought of It Chapter 2, Easter eggs, anything like that. Let's discuss it in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Click notifications. Keep it locked until next time. You know how we do, man. Peace. Honey, yo.
So faded on a track like this, 'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night,